Hello, everybody. I am Evan from Everyday Pundits. This is finally putting a face to the voice, I suppose, for many of you. But this is just a new sort of thing that we're going to do. We're going to start, covering more topics and more news stories as they break. And obviously, in the world of football today, we've had two very big transfers and to two clubs who really needed these signings. So we're going to get into them now. So obviously, drop a like, drop a comment if you can. That'd be much appreciated. So let's get into it. So obviously, the first and probably the biggest story of the day is that Gareth Bale will be rejoining Spurs from the team that he left in 2014 for, at the time, was greener pastures, and then kind of hasn't, worked out like that since then. But we'll get into that a bit more later. Obviously, it's looking like it's going to be a 1 year deal. They're saying around 20 million in terms of fees and wages. They're still ironing out the details. I doubt they'll release how much, but Jose still maintains that he's a Real Madrid player until he's told, so he's going to respect that, doing what Jose says. But it's looking pretty inevitable, from all the top tier journalists, that Gareth Bale will be rejoining. So, just thought we'd give a quick rundown of, his career so far and how he's going to fit into this current iteration of a Spurs team that, was a bit lackluster on the weekend, should we say.
Obviously, just a quick recap of Gareth Bale's career so far. In 2007, he joined Spurs from Southampton when he was a very highly touted left back at the time, and when he went to Spurs, it was a bit of a turbulent start to his career. He wasn't favoured that highly. He wasn't the starting left back, and then there were some sparkling performances. I mean, who can forget the 2010 game against Inter Milan at White Hart Lane, where he bagged himself a hat trick and made Maicon look, well, he just completely mugged him off and made him look ordinary. And these performances helped him move further up the pitch because he had a lot of attributes. He had speed, he had strength, he had a good eye for goal. And in 2011, he exploded into another stratosphere, and if anything, exploded Spurs into another realm that they hadn't been for a number of years. Obviously, he became only the fourth Welshman to win the PFA Player of the Year award at the tender age of 21, and a feat that he would actually repeat in 2013 when he obviously bagged himself astounding 21 goals in 33 Premier League games from the left wing, which helped the Lily Whites have one of their better seasons in recent memory. And obviously that caught the attention of Los Blancos, who obviously for a then world record fee, and seized their opportunity to make him a Real Madrid player for the very first time. And this was, at the time, an amazing news for British football and Welsh football in particular. But whilst he's been very impressive, and when he's played, he's been phenomenal for them, he has been hampered a bit by a number of reasons, and these have started to pile up over the last few years. Obviously, he's won Champions League. He scored that amazing overhead kick against Liverpool, and obviously also the extra time winner that he got against Atletico Madrid. He has helped them win trophies, but it seems like this has all fallen on deaf ears, and people have not remembered how great he was. And Zizou has come in, obviously Zidane has come in to Real Madrid and he galvanised them when he first came in, but now obviously they won the league last year. But when it came to Gareth Bale, he's never been the biggest fan, and it's kind of rubbed some people the wrong way because everyone knows how prodigiously talented he is, even at his age. But yes, we know injuries are always a big factor in how a footballer is viewed. But I mean, when he's on his pomp, he's a top 5 player in the world, and his talent is undeniable. So I think this is going to be an amazing sign for Spurs and for him. I think he needs this because obviously there was the story that came out when he was in the interview, and he said, in order it goes Wales, golf, Madrid. Obviously he's fallen out of love and he's disarrayed with the club now, so it's best for everyone that he moves on and Madrid move on, and they can nurture Hazard and the egos that they've got bouncing around that dressing room. So now we're going to get into why this is a good move for Spurs.
So obviously this is a fantastic move for Spurs, who are in real need of a quality player like this. I think that when you watch them against Everton, they were devoid of something on that right hand side. I mean, you had Son who was making chances and creating. You had Kane who was doing what Kane does, making quality runs into the box. But I mean, there's not much service coming from that midfield. I mean, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg looked atrocious, if I'm honest. I mean, there was obviously, the fact that Dele Alli, of all people, got subbed off for Moussa Sissoko is never a good sign of what's going on at Spurs. But this may be what Spurs need to galvanise them.
So obviously Jose will be hoping that, he can mould the young talent that he's got, and even the older, more savvy and veterans that are there. Hopefully this will give him, a real reminder of what it means to be a top player. So what's going to happen from here is, it looks like, according to Fabrizio Romano, as you can see on the screen, Gareth Bale will fly in Friday for his medical in London, and it looks like he will return to Spurs. Not White Hart Lane anymore, of course. It's now the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, probably soon to be sponsored by some big company, but each to their own. So best of luck to Gareth Bale and Spurs, and I hope it works out, because it's good to see him back. So obviously Spurs have also signed Reguilon, also from Madrid. So they've gone for 2 Madrid players in one day. So it's a boost to their defence, boost to the right wing, and a boost to their overall morale and hopefully their team. And let's hope they can make a little charge up the league now. So I think it's time that we move on to the second of the signings that was considered a marquee signing today, and that was Liverpool. Obviously confirmed, well, not confirming, but by all accounts it's been confirmed that Thiago Alacantra from Bayern Munich will join. And this is for a fee believed to be in around the £30 million, £20 to £30 million range, which for Jurgen Klopp, listen, this is a fantastic move and one that was desperately needed, and all Liverpool fans really cried out for a move in the midfield, and they've gone and got, a Champions League winner now, and I think it's just bolstered their options that we'll take a look at now in a second. But obviously the Spanish international brings a bit of flair, a bit of creativity, a bit of savvy, a bit of guile into that midfield that was lacking outside of Henderson. That you got your Fabinhos and the other players that don't really gel in terms of pieces together, because they've got too many players that do a similar sort of thing, as we'll have a look at now. So coming off last season where Liverpool absolutely walked the league and made everybody else look foolish for doubting Jurgen Klopp and all the weapons that he possessed and his tactics in the gegenpress and everything that comes along with him and his antics, they were really poor after the restart, and especially coming into this season, it was looking like they were going to have to obviously go forward with their midfield options of Wijnaldum, Keita, Henderson, Fabinho, Oxlade-Chamberlain. But now they've added Thiago Alacantra. I think it gives them a new dynamic where they can kind of have Henderson doing what he does in that engine room and being that kind of Scott Parker, and obviously a bit better than Scott Parker, but, driving that midfield forward and really showing them, that you can go forward and play a bit looser and a bit more creatively because I've got you. And they obviously know that Virgil's got them behind them, but maybe not Joe Gomez or, Trent Alexander-Arnold, who've proved to be a little bit of a liability defensively. But, there's ways that they've improved in their play, but I think adding Alacantra has now given them an option where, obviously if you play Henderson, Alacantra, and then maybe Wijnaldum or Alacantra and Keita, you've got so much creativity, but also players that can go forwards and backwards then in Henderson and Thiago, where they can also link up play. And you saw in the Champions League final and throughout the season that Thiago Alacantra loves playing balls out to the wing, and he can really play a through ball and a direct ball that can really cut defences open. And I think Jurgen Klopp's pulled off yet again another master stroke, and I think this could be the piece, maybe if they get another defender that could really, I don't want to say swing it again in their favour, because obviously they're the defending champions, but you obviously look at them now and you're like, okay, is that the piece that they were missing that can, because obviously there's complacency that's setting, because obviously they've won the Champions League, now they've won the Prem. It's like, well, what else do they have to do? Now they've got to carry on, and they've got to really show that they are the class and that they can hang with Man City and Chelsea, who've improved, and United, who are improving, and Arsenal, who look better under Arteta, and this litany of other teams that could challenge them for that superiority in that top spot. So it'll be really interesting to see if this is the piece that they want, and I think it's a great signing. That's the end of the video. So if you made it this far, thank you very much. Leave your comments, leave your likes if you want to, subscribe, and we'll see you again in the next video.